And definitely not turn off the music somehow fucks up these headphones that seem like they would work.
And to top the whole thing off, there are only 8 of these being made, and this is number 1. So, alongside scripting this video, one thing that I've also been doing in my downtime is listening to the audiobook of Dune through Audible in front of this video. And I'm not gonna lie to you, up until about 2 weeks ago, I thought Audible was just someone reading out a book to you. But it isn't. It's like experiencing a 20-hour movie. There's a cast list, there's different people reading the lines of different characters, so you get a proper feel for who's who. And there's like an entire soundtrack that ramps up in the big moments and then peters down in the slow ones.
The key word was maker. Maker. Maker.
There is a ridiculous amount of content here on every genre of audiobook, and I'm like proper impressed that before you even commit to one of them, you can see a 3-tiered rating system based on other users' feedback. So, if you want to check it out, head to audible.com/Mr. Who's the Boss, or you can actually text Mr. Who's the Boss 500 500 to get 1 free audiobook, a 30-day free trial, and access to the Plus catalog. To check out my previous ridiculously priced unboxing, that's here. Or to see why I'm worried about the future of humanity, that video is here. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss. Catch you in a minute.
Time to see who wins this fight. I don't care about a game called Ghostwire. I'd rather see ads for the new Star Wars
Did you know that Audi has made
game.
a car that can physically transform? This Xiaomi has made a robotic dog that's powerful enough to backflip, or that you can get a shoe that prevents you from ever falling over.
Wait, what?
Welcome to my biggest inventions video yet. From extraordinary to astronomical to out of this world. So number 25. Let me ask you a question. Where is the water coming from here? It took me way longer than I'm going to admit to see it, but the answer is via a transparent tube in the middle of the stream. So, water comes up via the inside, goes down via the outside.
Well, you see, this is a true mixed martial artist.
I really like this, but I only give it a 2 out of 10 just because of how much greater things are about to get. But let's talk about that. For example, the croquet taps, which are more than just showpieces. Since 1992, this company has been making taps that, as well as being able to deliver normal room temperature water, can also in an instant dispense boiling water. And with their newer models, they can burn. Providing you're willing to install this extra box, they can also deliver chilled water, which will get straight from the fridge, or even sparkling water, literally, on top.
Yeah, he's mixing it all up.
And if you're like me, and you just love tech like this, that lets me spend less time putting things to happen, you're probably also going to love Holland. It's a machine that you can feed your washed clothes into. It doesn't matter if they're simple jeans or pet button shirts.
Don't care about something called Bid Defender. Screw you, I don't care.
By the time you've grabbed your next item, they will already have been folded and placed in a pile for you. It sounds very extra, but if you factor in that apparently the average person spends 85 days of their life folding clothes, and that one of these machines can mean your entire household never has to do it again, you can see how this investment starts to make sense. 3 out of 10. I don't think I've ever talked about this, but one of my favourite non-video games is actually Pool. So, I was pretty happy guy when I saw that there is a company who's actually working on augmented reality pool. Using a projector that sits above the table, they've created a system that can overlay environments. It can simulate different animations when balls make contact. It can even show you the trajectory of the shots you're planning. I did initially think, well, that's a bit pointless because you'll always get it in, but think about how good a training tool it is. Think about how fast you could improve if you use this. You can't give it more than a 4 out of 10 days, just because the company hasn't posted an update about it in like 2 years, and so we've got no idea where the project is right now. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of people who love the idea of flying, but are just slightly put off by the fact that actually training to become a pilot costs over $100,000. Well, worry no more, because there is a company called Lyft who's building an entire fleet personal drones that they're saying people will be allowed to fly without any experience or any supervision.
There's a drone.
Each one uses no less than 18 separate batteries, 18 propellers. They have so many safety features that they can apparently land even if 6 of them stop working. And they're even built to be resistant to bird strikes. Call out a bird. This company seems to feature as hundreds of thousands of air taxis, getting people from AP or completely avoid.
Ooh, that was a very close
I
call.
love the vision, but I'm only giving it a 4 out of 10 because they've got a hell of a lot of convincing to do before this massive victory. Number 20. This is where we step things up a notch. I am of course talking about trash cans. This one here is a Titan trash compactor.
Make back up. Boom. Like,
Instead of you needing to kind of like
I
pull
keep
out the bag
doing
and get
this.
a new one,
You're try and blow that lip anymore here as well. You need to be able to at least jump. If your legs are screwed up, it's going to be harder to jump.
Fold in. So, let's see how well it works. That is kind of insane. As a very rough estimate, I would say that has doubled the amount of stuff that I can fit into one bin bag, which is obviously not just good for me, but also the planet. As far as bin tech goes, this is, well, not rubbish. A joke. 5 out of 10. And in a similar vein, Solubag has made a whole catalogue of bags that you can use as many or as few times as you want to. And then, when you're done, just stick them in hot water and they will dissolve. In just 5 minutes, there will be no trace of a bag. And the resulting liquid is so safe that you can drink it. Which is kind of amazing when you think about how a normal plastic could well take 500 years to break down. And even then, you do not want to be drinking that. Or, in a similar vein, the company DB Breweries has created a fleet of machines that can take your used beer bottles and instead of just
Do a body kick
to be emptied in landfill,
This if he takes a step forward, boom, straight there, then start firing at the head. I keep my strategy up, and just making sure I can catch him off guard with that kick, then it's going to screw him up. Screw him up. See, he steps forward, and I throw that kick, leg kick. And then when he goes for a hit, I kick him in the body, go towards his head, and then start firing off knees. So pretty much, I am just man-punting for Sandhagen, making him stop doing what he usually does in his fights. Now, he just needs a tactic to expect or figure out what I'm about to do before I do it. And so he figures that out, he's being beat. That's my reason I am switching it up. Now, see, his head scratching. Ooh, God. Look at, had to make sure he went back with a whip. Because that was a very close call. Like, he just threw that knee, and it was decapitated. Like a, but, boom. But every time I knock him out, I don't know when I'm gonna catch him off guard, have it, he's just gonna crumble, like I just caused him to do. Go for the knockout! Damn it, no, get up.
Oh, nice connection by him there.
I've played Warframe, it's a boring game. We don't have friends play it with you. I didn't have a lot of people play it with me.
It's great for brands, because they're going to stand out. And as a viewer, I'm not exactly complaining either. And hey, if you're enjoying this video, then a sub to the channel would be showstopping. 5 out of 10. And
nope, step forward for an
watch
order.
football, the Euro 2020s. If you did, you might have noticed that these adverts going along the sides of the pitch.
First true test.
Seem like anything particularly novel on the face of it. These are actually augmented reality ads. They're LED boards that are using something called virtual digital replacement technology, which requires a complete upgrade for all parts of the recording equipment can be treated as replaceable objects. So if I'm watching here in the UK, I'll see one ad on them. If you're watching out there in India, you're going to see something completely different. Even though this is a live event. It doesn't matter what angle they're being filmed from. It doesn't even matter if someone walks directly in front of them. It's really convincing.
So there
As
he is
for
after
why?
the big TKO
Well,
victory here tonight. He had some
money.
doubters
This
coming
tech
in.
means that
He
instead of
certainly
just being
muted
able to
those
sell one
naysayers
set of
here
ads
tonight.
to one company, they can now offer that same advertising space to as many companies at once in every region, with the reassurance that these ads will be targeted to the viewers in that company's local market.
Well, the
A 6 out of 10
celebration is on over
thinking
there
right
in the
there.
corner, and nothing subdued
Okay,
about it.
there
They
are
put
a lot of jobs around the
time into
world that require people to stand. It could be factories or shops or pharmacies. Sometimes there just isn't enough room for chairs. And I really respect people who do these jobs, because standing for sometimes 8 continuous hours is not easy and can cause a lot of long-term health issues.
Yep, makes sense.
However, the Chairless Chair 2.0 could solve a lot of it. It's a passive exoskeleton which enables you to sit. It doesn't matter where you are, it's got pads in just the right places such that it feels like a chair, and most importantly, it is built to counteract the long-term difficulties from standing by strengthening your thigh and back muscles or relieving pressure on the spine and knees. I probably only spend like 40 minutes standing a day, so maybe not for me. But even then, I still somehow managed to become the clumsiest person I know. You know, one time, my friends will never let me forget this, I managed to fall over while sitting down. How does that even happen? Regardless, the B shoes are kind of perfect for me. Each shoe has a motor-controlled track on the underside, as well as a whole load of motion sensors. And what these do is, they detect if the wearer is about to fall over, and then use those motors to spread that person's feet such that they very quickly have such a wide base but they don't fall. The B shoes were primarily designed for the elderly, who tend to fall often and whose falls are more likely to result in complications. It's a really worthwhile cause, but sadly it just looks like the concept didn't hit its funding target and is now up in the air. Unlike its users. 6 out of 10. Okay, in today's world, we get through a lot of paper, whether it's bank statements or receipts or your local pizza place shoving 14 litres for your door each morning. The point is, Epson has come up with an incredible invention that allows you to recycle it. You feed all of your waste paper into this absolute unit of a machine, and 3 processes occur. It breaks the paper down into individual fibers, stripping away all the ink in the process. It deposits what's left into a uniform layer, injecting a molecule that strengthens and whitens it. And then finally, it uses pressure to compress that layer into a paper of whatever thickness and size you want. Recycling paper this way uses 95% less water than traditional methods. It avoids all the trucks needed to transport paper from location to location, and it means that any sensitive documents you might have never need to leave your premises, even when you are done with them. Very easy 6 out of 10. You might have realized at this point that I'm a bit of a sucker for inventions that save the planet. And with this, simple is often better. Like, there is a company called Smartflower who've managed to build solar panels in such a way that they're not just pretty, so that companies will buy them as a showpiece, but they will also rotate to make sure that the panels are always directly facing the sun, such that you always get the optimum level of energy conversion. Makes so much sense when you think about it.
Some sweet science.
Right.
Let's go.
Between you and me, I love the idea of
Great
practice
sequence of strikes there.
but
Loving that.
that's way too much of a weight to do.
You're coming along really well.
Honda may be about to change that with their stealth balancing technology. They created a little device that can sit above the front wheel, constantly assess its position to know how much the bike is tilting, and physically move the steering bar if it goes too far one way. Oh yeah, by the way, the bike can follow you to a parking spot and park itself. I'm not tempted.
Great. Hey,
That's like
great.
we're in a time loop.
Great boxing
Because we
damage.
got White Hot
Okay?
Enterprise
Good
video.
job.
Yeah. So tip today.
Spice up every... This is fine. And it's not just drivers. You also got to keep pedestrians safe. When it turns out, the bag has started printing plastic that as soon as it's time to cross, turn into fences. Admittedly, not the most intricate technological marvel, but given that it will probably save people's lives, I can't give it less than a 6 out of 10. So now I'm wondering that if you started walking on that a little bit too early, wouldn't it just cut off you onto the oncoming traffic? We'll take questions at the end. Let's talk about traffic actually, because lots of cars on the road is often seen as a nuisance, right? However, a young entrepreneur from Pakistan has figured out how to benefit from it. This guy spent a fair amount of time at racetracks when he was younger, and when cars would fly past,